Throughout the years, Halloween Horror Nights has made quite a few different changes. Some changes are just aesthetics and are more apparent, while others help the event feel more interactive, creating a better guest experience overall. In this video, we're going to be discussing some of those changes, specifically to this year, Halloween Horror Nights 2025. Starting off, we have the entranceway trestle. Historically, this has always been neon red, although this year we have a new change for the lettering. Earlier this summer, there was a rumor that the red neon lettering was no more. We waited in anticipation for the reveal of the coloring for the neon sign, and as you can see, this marvelous teal color was the color for 2025, although that's what we thought. During the first week of the event, teal was in fact the color. It wasn't until week number 2 in which the neon green Goosebumps green color was revealed, and as of last week, the neon green remains. What do you think of the change? Alright, now let's talk about scare zones, because this year's scare zones are way different. For starters, most of the scare zones are much bigger. In most previous years, we have had 5 scare zones. However, for 2025, we only have 4. Kind of. The entranceway scare zone has the most apparent changes. In years past, chainsaw scare actors would typically greet you at the entranceway scare zone, as is the same for this year. But this year's Origins of Horror scare zone is massive compared to years past. Another change that I have really enjoyed for this year has been the stone icons that are aligning the sides of the entranceway scare zone. Iconic statues representing each IP house appear to be carved out of stone, acting as a sort of memento for the night. Just by walking through the entranceway scare zone, you can tell that we finally got a full-fledged idea for an entire scare zone. Having longer scare zones just means more immersiveness, and this is such a breath of fresh air compared to years past. One of my favorite scare zones of this year is the Cat Lady on Crooked Lane, which this area is historically a small scare zone. This year, however, the Cat Lady on Crooked Lane scare zone extends all the way back to the Animal Actors show, where the scare zone ends in a glorious finale on the stage. And may I just say that this set piece right here is really what makes this scare zone so wonderful. A brand new experience for this year's Halloween Horror Nights is at Mel's Die-In, Zombie Outbreak. For the first time in Halloween Horror Nights history that I can recall, zombies have taken over Mel's Die-In, all by simply turning off 2 letters on the neon sign for Mel's Drive-In. A legend for Halloween Horror Nights was born, Mel's Die-In. So other than the neon sign, there wasn't much to this legend of Halloween Horror Nights. And this year in 2025, Universal decided to change that. So now zombies have taken over. Now this is not a full-fledged scare zone. However, it is nice to see Universal acknowledging a legendary Halloween Horror Nights icon, Mel's Die-In. The next attraction that is similar to a scare zone but like a half scare zone is something called Club Horror. As the name would imply, this is a horror-themed club. The idea of Club Horror is not a new one. They have had fog machines and live dancers before with plenty of drink booths. However, this is the first year that Halloween Horror Nights is calling this a club. And it's easy to see why if you spend a little bit of time in here. The addition of a live DJ makes a ton of difference. Something that has made a return to Halloween Horror Nights that has not been at the event for at least 2 years is the Hauntofonic Water Light Projection Lagoon Show. Now, even though I have not seen the entire show, I have caught quite a bit of the show, and from what I've seen while passing by, the show looks quite impressive. The show is basically like a spooky Bellagio fountain with wonderful, stunning effects. And if you've been to Halloween Horror Nights before, then you know that the 2 most annoying things are the wait times and the temperature. And this show helps to relieve both of those things. It's a great way to spend time if the wait times are super high, and it also provides a little bit of a cooling effect on a very hot night. So even though I have not seen the entire show, I would highly recommend. This year's tribute store has a new home still inside New York City. The Palace Arcade is home to this year's tribute store. It feels smaller and less exciting. The old tribute store had many different rooms, and this tribute store's only 2. Jack-o'-lanterns have made a return in droves this year from high above in the trees of the Cat Lady on Crooked Lane scare zone. Last time we had this many jack-o'-lanterns was in the entranceway scare zone, I believe in 2022. And trust me, I've been looking so much, but I have not yet found Little Boo. But once again, something that sticks out this year is specifically this scare zone, the Cat Lady on Crooked Lane, is much bigger than in years past. Well, that brings us to the end of this video, and I do appreciate you watching, but if you did like this video, please leave me a thumbs up. That way this video can reach a larger audience. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing down below. That way you won't miss a thing, and you can see some of my last Halloween Horror Nights videos of this year. Have a wonderful night. Peace.